right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is July 19, 2021. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, how you boys doing?
Boys and girls, right?
Boys and girls? Nah.
They're all just
Girls
the boys?
don't watch us, come on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm joking. Shout out to all the ladies out there.
All right, Chris, how you been, my friend?
It's been a good week. Good past 2 days, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, that's
There's a reason we're a day late.
Yeah, there is a reason why we're doing this podcast on a Monday instead of our regular Sundays. As you guys probably don't know, GoFest was just this past weekend, and we definitely have our stories to tell, the amazing things that we caught, the amazing things that we found, the incredible heartbreaks for everybody around, and definitely some things to consider, I guess. We'll definitely give us our thoughts on how this GoFest went for our ratings and everything, but we definitely had an amazing time this weekend. Right, Chris?
Yes, sirree.
All right, well, before we get all started on that, just make sure that we remind everybody that we are part of a Professor Network. Check them out at professornetwork.com/pure4podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single damn time. And they're definitely going to have your own podcast up and running for GoFest and their thoughts and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time to talk about it. This week, it's just all GoFest related, or at least today's episodes. And then we have next week, or actually this coming weekend. So we definitely have more to talk about in next weekend, but we want to I don't know. It's been an exciting weekend for sure. I just don't know what else to talk about. There's not a lot of news to cover. Just here and there, a couple of teases and a few things that we're going to cover. Mostly at the end of our discussions and our recaps here. But that's because because of GoFest being the entire weekend, and really aside from the Ultra Unlocks, there hasn't really been much that anybody's talking about these days anyways. Mm-hmm. But yes, we're now here to talk about Pokemon Go's GoFest experience. So let's get right into it. How about Chris?
Yeah.
All right, so Saturday, how'd it go here?
Well, I was stuck at work for the first few hours. Yes. Until 3, actually, on the first GoFest. But I was throwing an incense. I was clicking on what I could at work. And then after 3, I grinded like crazy to try and catch up with a lot of people. And even just being out for 3 hours, I felt like my haul was pretty good. So I was pretty happy. Yeah,
we'll definitely be going over the hauls in just a moment. We just want to make sure how they went first and how everything goes from here on out. So basically halfway will work, halfway through GoFest for you.
Halfway? No, 2/3, boy.
Yeah, 2/3. Yeah, definitely.
2/3. It's horrible.
Hey, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of shinies either way for the 3 hours, right? Although you were mostly
it was worth it.
Even at work, you were getting some shinies, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Having my boss stare at me while I tried to click. Definitely asking off next GoFest. Hopefully, though, it's in an actual place instead of it just being at home. I know we had a little bit of FOMO missing out on Chicago, but we'll talk a little bit about that more later, probably.
Yes. I'm still a bit tired from that weekend, but still. Even though we had almost a full day to recover, there's just been a lot to talk about, think about, and just a lot of things. So for me, I knew I was, like, the moment GoFest was announced, I knew I was just going to take it off. I am on vacation this week, so that's good too. So that way I can just, process everything and see what else comes up in the next few days and hours. So at the day started, I woke up early. Technically I didn't have that much sleep. I mean, I did wake up like at the middle of the night, I think because of the excitement and how everybody else outside around the world was just talking about things like that. So because this also starts local time. So everywhere you go, people send you raids, people start posting out their shiny catches and everything. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, just thinking, am I gonna have a good GoFest? Is it gonna be cool? I know a lot of my friends are probably not gonna get there until later in the day. Who am I gonna see and things like that, So I go to my regular grinding spot early in the morning. I go a bit more early than usual because I want to make sure I actually get spots. And unfortunately, it is a place where I have to move my car every 2 or 3 hours, mostly if I'm not gonna get a ticket. So I was planning all of that. Luckily, there wasn't no event in the area that I was at, so I know that I wasn't going to worry about too many people being out there. But that was crazy. So I get there, I start looking around. I still had like probably another 5 minutes before it starts. Getting through, the last few things in my inventory that I just wanted to make sure that I had to do, like have enough Pokeballs, the Gold Plus. I actually have my Pokeball Gold Plus. Usually I don't have that installed on my phone. I usually have the original Gold Plus, and because I knew I wasn't going to like having to click on it most of the time, I just let my other Pokeball Plus actually do all the work through spinning and everything. So I get there, the event starts, I start seeing people, just looking at their phones, start looking around. Quickly, before I even did anything when they then started the event, I started putting all my bonuses, Lucky Egg, Star Piece, Incense, everything. There wasn't like, I wasn't trying to waste as much moments as I could. I tried to put all the stacks in bonuses that I could for at least 3 hours because I didn't know how much I'm going to do later. But in the end of the day, I just stacked them up throughout the entire 8 hours anyway, so it wasn't that much difference. I was worried that I wasn't going to get the items because I know that Niantic tweeted out early in the week that said that your items may not appear on your bag, so you better buy them now or it's not going to be there for another 3 days or something. I'm like, oh god. Oh no. But it was fine. Luckily my game ran smoothly, and then of course I started catching. I think we started in the water ocean biome, so we were getting all the water spawns at the beginning. First few clicks, no shinies, but I also trying to get the most experience, so I tried to catch everything. At one point and my first shiny was a shiny Carvana, which I already had, of course. So I was like, okay, cool, first shiny of the day. Then afterwards, before I started meeting up with a lot of different people, I get a shiny Alomomola. So I was like, cool, a new shiny I didn't have. I knew it was out for a while, but it was harder to get in that regard. And so on and so forth, I started catching and looking at things like that. Again, I'll go through my entire hauls in just a moment here. And then I meet up with a lot of people. The amount of people that actually came out and played during GoFest was insane. It was like Gable Community Day all over again, but even much, much more, because you see people that either haven't played the game for a while, have played enough, or know about GoFest, and just people who are either brand new or just starting up the game. I'm like, well, of course you start the game on the most like convenient day of them all, So either way, it was just an amazing, fun time to go through. It was super fun to see people actually be at the raids. Like there was not many raids at day one, but there were some Mewtwo's and some Dinos, some Ponytas and things like that. The moment you get to the Mewtwo, it was already filled up. Like you already had 2 lobbies ready to go between remotes and regulars, and it was insane how many people were out there just looking forward to do the raids. And I was just like super happy to see this. Like I know that last year we didn't really get to do that much because it was all virtual and all home-like. But it was just amazing to see that type of experience once again. I wish I would be able to experience it outside of my normal grind spot, but again, my plans were mostly just finish up work on Friday and then have ready on GoFest for Tuesday. So even if I were to fly out the night before somewhere, that would have been like a dead zone for me because I would have been dead. No sleep or anything anyways. But those were my thoughts and things like that anyway. So whatever the case may be, it was just super fun, at least for day one. So that was my experience, and I was dead tired after that. So let's go ahead and go through our shinies, and then I'll tell more stories about how I got each shiny. So I'll let you go in first, Chris, because I know your haul is probably a little bit smaller than mine.
Okay. For first day, I think I got 16 shinies.
That's still pretty good.
So I was pretty happy. I'll just look up shiny. Okay. I know it all started with a shiny Dratini, and I was shaking my head. I was like, we had a calm day. I'll take it, whatever. And that was while I'm at work, just near Young Gunta, another content creator that I work with.
Shout out.
Shout out. And then my next shiny after that was a shiny Woobat. That is the third one I have.
Okay.
And then I finally got one of my main ones I wanted, shiny Audino. Of course, my boss is right in front of me. I'm looking at him while I'm trying to catch it. I've set down my phone. I'm like, okay, nah, he didn't see me. He starts walking away down the aisle. I work at a grocery store. And
you have to specify that, right?
Yeah. And then he turns around and says, "Oh, Chris, don't forget your phone." I was like, "No, you weren't supposed to see that." Then after that, I got a big old shiny tree, a shiny Executor, Lolan.
Nice.
Then a shiny Growlithe. I have enough of those, but shinies are shiny. Then I got another good goal of mine, a shiny Throw.
Ooh, nice.
And I want to say about now is when I was leaving work, and I started to kick it into high gear to try and get all the shinies I could. So I got a shiny Aron in the parking lot.
All right.
When I got home to change, I got a shiny Roggenrola. Krogunk came when I got to one of our local colleges.
Nice.
Then this one made me mad. Shiny Snivy. No, do not give me Snivy. Then I got a chunky old Scyther, 1835. I know I got two, and one of them's really good for PvP.
All right.
But I'll definitely be using that guy because Shiny Scizor looks dope. Got a level 1 Snivy shiny.
Of course.
Another Krogunk. And I forgot to mention, the first Krogunk I ever got shiny was the costume one, so I was very happy to get another one.
All right.
Got the second shiny Scyther, and then I got another Ferroseed. I think this is the second one for the family, so I got that.
Super jealous.
I got the male hippopotamus, and then I got my second shiny Skorupi. So I finished a lot of families. I got a lot of new ones, so I was pretty happy with day one. That was the end of my day one haul.
Yeah. The super jealous on that Scroopy and that that Pharisee there.
By the way, Ghost Prankster just asked if we had Rock or Pop. We both picked Rockstar.
Yeah.
And I think we both picked Fly. Or did you pick Gardevoir?
I played Gardevoir, yeah.
Gardevoir. Okay, so I got Flygon. He got Gardevoir. Yeah, definitely gonna talk about that more. I've never been a fan of the branching path.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about the special research and, of course, the mythical Pokemon that came across it too. I really wish I actually had some screenshots from that because since, I usually go through the grind, I never really think about screenshotting or video, putting all the things there. But I should probably start doing that a little more so I can show it during days like this where we want to just recap a lot of more different moments in our experiences of the week, of course, or events like this anyway. So yeah, I should probably start doing that. But anyways, we'll talk about that in just a moment anyways. So your day one was pretty good. I'm super jealous about your Ferroseed and your Scroopy. I don't have a Scroopy. I don't have a Ferroseed. So yet. But we'll see how it goes because there's more events coming up and hopefully I'll get a chance of actually catching them if that's the case. So I'll go ahead and go through most of my shinies for day one. Let me make sure that I have the appropriate age of this. So yes, so again, I did talk about getting my Carvana and my Alomomola. I was going around and of course, I actually got an Adino, my very first shiny Adino, and I was super happy about getting this one because I was like, this was technically a holdout for me. One, because I don't see that many Adinos aside from getting one or two depending on research or eggs or anything like that. But shiny Adino, since you guys know, Mega Adino is a thing, so I was actually hype about getting this one. However, this was like the craziest experience when it came to this one because I think the game lagged for me during the time that my shiny Adino happened, and it was an instant spawn, so I was like super scared to exclusive. So I gave her a berry, it was super laggy. And then I decided I tried to throw an Ultra Ball, and it just goes to like the left or to the right, or I'm like behind it. I'm like, no, don't make me lose this. And I knew I didn't have that much time, and if I were to reset the game, I would have actually completely lost that Pokemon no matter what. So I had to throw something to get it. I think it was like 10 or 15 Ultra Balls at the time just to try to hit one. I already had the berry in there. I just never hit it once until the game finally worked for me. So I was happy about it. I actually caught it, so I do have a shiny Adino, thank God. IVs wise, not too bad, but it could have been better. Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment too. I also got the Pikachu with the hats. I was super happy about that, and I like the event shinies. I know I like the event shinies. It's not too bad. Then of course during Cave Hour I get a Ralts, and I'm okay with blue shinies no matter what. I get another shiny Adino not too far off after that. And I had a lucky friend somewhere in the park, so I meet up with him real quick and said, hey, if you have a shiny Adino, let's just go ahead and trade them right now and see if we can get some better IVs here. So he got one, and I was like, let's do it. IVs wise could have been better. It is a 13-13-13, so still not the best. However, it's probably the best shiny Adino that I will probably have anytime soon anyway. So
it's going to be a fun mega.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun to actually do megas for. I get another shiny Gibble, which, I screamed and I was like, shiny Gibble! Well, okay, it is calm day too.
Wait a minute.
I was also super happy to announce that I actually got a shiny Chimecho, and that's another new release shiny. Super happy about it. Mostly because, again, new shinies are the ones that you really want to get during the events like this. So I was like, yes, I got it, finally. I don't remember how exactly I got it. I don't know if it was the Gold Plus or me just catching it, but I do remember just getting it at that point. Then we go into the jungle hour, and I'm like, in this hour I technically don't do as much. I actually go out to get some lunch with my friend that was already in the park at the time, so I started getting the Gold Plus going. The jungle hour wasn't that much of what I wanted to do. There wasn't a lot of shinies that I wanted to get, so I said, let's just let the Gold Plus go while I drive over to what I need to go. So during that hour, actually, that was actually very fun because I did get 3 shinies from the Gold Plus. And the first one was a Lotad. Probably a couple clicks later, I get another shiny Pikachu with a hat. And this one, though, is a 96 14-14-15 shiny. So I was like, yes. Definitely a spicy one there. I still doing the Gold Plus during the time. I get a shiny Scyther, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm okay with shiny Scyther because, if I get a good shiny Scyther, I can Mega Evolve it anyways. I get a shiny Slakoth. I think this is during the Cave Hour, so I was like, I'm still only Gold Plusing most of the things. I'm only catching or searching for a few things. I Gold Plus this because I think it was like one of the spawns in between where I was, and there wasn't a lot of spawns where I was eating lunch anyways. So I went ahead and just let the Gold Plus catch it. Pretty okay, not too bad. It's the first Luck-Off I actually get after a while anyway, so I'm actually happy that it's not like an insane amount of them anyways. I click another Pikachu and I get another Pikachu, so I do have 3 event shiny Pikachu, so I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this anyways. And then
cough.
cough. And then I'm driving back during the cave, or not the cave hour, but the desert hour. And I actually go plus my shiny Croconaw, the very first one I ever get, man. That's like insane. I never got it throughout the last few events, and I never got the hat one because I wasn't really wanting to get the hat one anyways, but still, it's one of those things. Me and my friend, or actually a lot of people actually called out a hundo, hippopotamus around the area in downtown, so we went ahead, me and my friend, we drive over to it. We were clicking, and he's telling me, it's right there, it's like 5 different hippos. And then I decided to click on one hippo, and I'm like, oh, it's the shiny! And I thought that it was the hundo, and I was like, no, that's not that one. I'm like, oh, God, that was so close. It was literally the next one that I clicked that is the hundo. So I got the shiny hippo, cool, but then I also get the hundo afterwards.
So close.
I know, right? I go ahead and do another raid with the gang in the park, and it's another Mewtwo on there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, shiny Mewtwo. Cool, I'm actually stacking up on a few of them already, so that's pretty good. And just to make sure, yes, that's still all day one. Yes, so I go plus another shiny Charmander, I think, during the jungle hour, because again, it rotated to the jungle hour, and I was actually pretty tired at the time. So I went ahead and went to my car. My friend already left, did something else, and then I went to a spot that I could just cash and spin stops, so that way at least I don't lose on so many things. But I was only doing the Gold Plus most of the time and only checking on a few things. And yeah, that was actually pretty good. I do another Mewtwo, and then of course another shiny Mewtwo appears. At that point, it's almost the end. I'm only doing whatever Mewtwo's left around the area or whatever spawns. I think it was like the last 2 hours or an hour and a half left of the event anyways. And then, of course, the coup de grace. I finished my last dino raid of the day. It's probably the last 30 minutes. We do it. That's over there and there. And I get the shiny dino. Finally, I got a shiny dino. And it didn't take me 200 or 300 raids to get it, you know. Pretty good ABs, 3-star, 15, 10, 14, so it's not the greatest, but still, I'm happy about it. I wanted to get a dino for the longest time, so I've been trying to do the strange checks all the time. But of course, dino is the rarest thing after Kibble, so unfortunately, that's what it's supposed to be. So that's day one. That's how it went through day one, which, in all honesty, I think I got 23 shinies in total, including the dino. So that's actually a pretty good haul for me. Not as crazy like calm day shiny rates, but still it was a pretty good haul. I got most of the shinies that I wanted. So that's pretty good. Oh, I also forgot to actually mention another Adino, another Jigglypuff, and I actually hatched a shiny Whismur, a 96% shiny Whismur, which I am super stoked about there. It's only 13 attack, but still pretty good. I know it's not the craziest things to get, but it's another new shiny out there, so it's pretty good. I was hoping for more.
I like the way he looks.
Yeah. Loaded, and the other ones don't look that much. So I think I'm going to keep this one as a Whisper until I get 2 more, of course. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my haul. That's my haul for day one for sure. Now let's talk about how the research came into be and how that played out throughout the biomes. So we knew that we were going to get Violetta. It was teased everywhere. It's been all promotionals, and it was all about that and everything. Pikachu Rockstar and Pikachu Popstar were also a thing. The Gardevoirs, and of course, Gardevoir and Flygon, and then Zigzagoon and Ponyta. All shiny possibilities. Well, actually, only this Ponyta and the Zigzagoon are shiny possibilities, while everything else was just custom at this point. So just like Chris mentioned, we had to choose between what we want to use to technically make our band put together through the whole thing. So what did you think about the research, Chris? What was the best thing for the research? What was the pros and cons for it?
Like the special research?
Yeah, the special research.
I don't remember it too much. I wish we could look at the different things. I will say it was interesting that you got to choose which Pikachu you wanted, kind of like what we did for the red and green.
Right.
So I think they kind of tested that with Bidoof Day, even though for Bidoof Day you picked one and it did not matter.
Yeah, no. No, you're right.
But it was very cool that you got to choose what you wanted. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun either picking the little kawaii Pikachu, the little cute pop star Pikachu, or the rock star Pikachu. Personally, I know we both went with the rock star. Not just for the pose. I just there's multiple reasons. I felt like the rock star just overweighed the other one. But I think the research was really cool. I wish for a few parts they told you to turn on the sound ahead of time.
Yeah, that's
I was
true.
kind of disappointed at the end, but yeah.
There was also some issues
Because
with
I was
this.
like, I can't leave it.
There was also some issues with the sound. Actually, they did say that if you want to play with sound throughout the GoFest, that was a thing. I still think they need to fix the whole going into an encounter. It will change over, reset the music and kind of thing. And unfortunately, this time around, the sound was kind of glitched. Whenever you enter an encounter, the music for the encounter or the catching will actually stay a little bit longer even when you return to the overworld. So I was happy about listening to the music, but I just couldn't do anything else because I just wasn't able to enjoy the rock music that they were giving me at the time. So, and it kind of was like, okay, well, if I'm not gonna be able to listen to it, there's no point. So I was just like, I turned it off afterwards. I kept playing and things like that. As for the special research, before we actually go on to more music, because there's actually cool little things that they did throughout day 2 afterwards. Mm-hmm. The special research, I think it was okay. It wasn't too bad. Catch a lot of Pokemon, transfer a few things, power up a few things. The only step that a few people were talking about that was actually a hassle was walk the 1 kilometer. That unless you were out there, you really didn't have to worry about much about it. Hatch the egg.
All the people screaming at home.
I know, right? All the people screaming at home. Hatch the egg was also another thing. And then the one that actually annoyed me the most and actually took away from the experience is trying to do at least 2 Tingle rockets at the time of research.
Yup.
And that was because when I actually got to the research, it was the best biome of them all, which was the cave one. So I could not take away from finishing the research at the time that I was doing, because every time I go into an encounter with a Tingle Rocket, I'm going away from doing the encounters that I want. What if a Dino spawns? What if a Snorlax spawns? And I was like, nope, I'm not doing this until after the end of that.
I was going to say, you're missing out on a Snorlax or 2 going into that.
That's what I'm saying. So, and it was 2 Tingle Rockets, so that means you got to beat down 2, whatever is actually spawning. I think the rocket balloons were actually spawning at least once every 2 hours or once every hour, so...
I think once every hour.
Yeah, so I was kind of annoying because for the first 20 minutes I had the balloon popping up and I was like, can the balloon just go away right now because I'm trying to catch all of this. I don't want to click on this. It was kind of annoying at that point. I know that they wanted to implement Go Tingle Rocket at some point because that's also an aspect of Pokemon Go anyways. But it was just a hassle to see it all the time. They should at least put the rates back down to the hours that you're supposed to. Because they were gonna spawn anyway wherever you were. I think it was helpful for a lot of people that were still at home, but I don't think it was just kind of annoying if you were actually out and about in that sense. But anyways, that was part of the research. We got it done pretty quickly anyways. The post was pretty cool, and it's still pretty cool because it's an animated post. And
yeah, I'm really excited about that.
It's something. Well, at least the rock one has more animation than the pop one. The pop one usually is just hopping around, but the animation of the rocks one, actually, I'll show you right here. It's just basically air guitaring the entire time, and I'm just like, yes, this is the one that I need. I'm probably gonna keep this for the rest of the year, anyways, until another cool one comes around. But either way, it was actually it was okay on that. And then of course you get Myoletta at the end. They do some kind of like little concert to catch Myoletta. It was probably the coolest catch stream that you ever see at the time of recording this, because the last few was just AR plus the mythical. This time was an actual like encounter, and she was in the singing pose and the concert hall, whatever it was. And it was actually kind of cool. Unfortunately, just like Chris said, I also had the music turned off at the time of encountering Myoletta. So luckily I was able to run away from the encounter, turn on the music, and then listen more of what she was actually singing. But it was only for a few moments, and then of course I turned it off afterwards because again it was just annoying how the music was at the time. So overall the special research wasn't too bad. What was your IVs on your Myoletta anyways?
10, 11, and I think 13, which is alright because most legendaries or mythicals I kind of want for PvP.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's decent IVs for Ultra League. But I'm kind of curious where it maxes out at. Oh no. It goes to Ultra League at 2474. Could be worse, but yeah, I always like it having those more fun numbers, those real close numbers. But yeah, its typing is really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Almost psychic.
Well, so basically it's neutral. Well, it's neutral to fighting, technically.
Yeah.
because of that reason. But anyways, I also got a 13, 12, 15. So not a best out of all the mythicals. Actually, it's one of the best normal mythicals, or the best non-shiny mythical that I have gotten out of all the other non-shiny mythicals. The shiny mythicals have getting a pretty good luck on those, so that's actually pretty good. I think both of them were 93 for some reason. I don't remember, but either way. Mayolita is an okay Pokemon. I don't see it changing the meta anytime soon. It does have stab in both Psychic and Normal, but I don't know what Chris has mentioned here. Chris?
You don't see it changing the meta. It's a Psychic Pokemon that doesn't take super effective damage from Giratina.
Sure.
It's wild.
Wait.
It is wild, man.
Damn, that's a
It beats Giratina in Master League. It's wild, man.
Man, I wish I was the trainer club. Then he got a Hondo.
Ooh, yeah. I'm interested to see if anyone actually runs it in Master League, because it doesn't beat like Dialga. It can beat, I think, Togekiss, which is interesting. But like things like Lugia and Dialga just demolish it, which isn't a surprise. But the fact it can wall Ghosts is really interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely something that you don't see as much. I guess the normal typing kind of neutrates the Ghost, and even though it's Psychic, it's not supposed to take that much damage anyway. So that's interesting how you see it, you know. His other Mayoleta's other form, the Fighting Psychic, that will take precedence on how you use it anyway. So, and even then, it's not taking a lot of damage from Dark types either. So that's a different story altogether. Because Fighting resists Dark, but it's super effective against Psychic. So it really is like a middle ground when it comes down to it.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes when it comes to Mayoleta. I don't know when they're ever going to release this other form anyways. This is actually the first mythical that we have that is a different types of form, aside from Shaman, that's not released yet in the game anyway. So we'll see. We'll see if it's another change in meta. Now, this is a special research, of course, for ticket holders. However, for non-ticket holders, they didn't get to that point. Do know that most of the time they release a mythical Pokemon throughout one of the special events like GoFest. That mythical Pokemon will be published to everybody else in the world in the coming months. So it's not like it's the worst thing when it comes down to it. You will get your Mayoleta eventually. It's just going to be a different type of research than GoFest anyways. It was just a little bit easier in GoFest time anyways. So just make sure you're aware you will be getting your Mayoleta with time, and whenever they actually decide to drop the special research for it anyways, for everybody out there. So that's the special research. How about we talk about some heartbreaking shinies or captures you got? I know I have one from day one before we go into day two, but did you get anything that you were disappointed about, or did you didn't get, or something happened at the end?
I will say the biggest fail, I guess, was not getting shiny Snorlax.
Okay.
But to be fair, we will have shiny Munchlax released sooner or later. And I think that one's going to be a lot easier to grab. You don't have to worry about it running away. So I'm definitely going to save my incubators that I bought now until that gets released, probably.
Okay.
Other than that, no. Like, obviously, new shinies would have been cool, but I'm pretty happy with the haul from both days.
At least for day one, before we move over to day two.
Yeah, for day one, it was perfect.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was perfect. I couldn't have expected to get more stuck at work, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And overall, day one was pretty good. For my heartbreak for at least day one, I go plus an Adino, and then I click on it right afterwards. And of course, it was shiny. Luckily, it was two. I was already two shiny Adinos at the time. 3 by the end of the actual first day. So
yeah, you almost had 4. What the heck?
I know. I was almost had 4 shiny Adinos, and that would have been insane. Of course, it could have been the Shando, but you never know until it runs away. But those are the heartbreaks kind of things that happens. I know there's another one in day 2 that I'll be talking about in just a moment, anyways. But still, But yeah, no, that was technically the only fail that I got. I don't think I had any other ones. I guess the biggest fail aside from that is probably not getting, of course, the Snorlax either, because the Snorlax was another holdout for me. And of course, Scroopy throughout the entire weekend, because I was gunning to get that Scroopy soon rather than later, but unfortunately it didn't never shine for me. So, it is what it is. So, before we move on to day 2, let's go ahead and just give our overall thoughts about day 1. I think it was probably one of the best ones so far. Shinies rates were pretty good, and even they said that the shiny race was going to be boosted during day 1 anyways. So overall, I give it a 9 out of 10, aside from the shiny fail, but anyways. Close to a 9.5, because it really was a pretty good day anyways. How about you guys?
I'd probably give it a 9. Honestly, I'd probably give it a 9. Because, comparing it to, an in-person GoFest,
yeah.
Mostly because you can pick which biome you want to be in the in-person from being in Chicago.
Right.
So if you're grinding a certain shiny, you want Snorlax, you're going to be in the biome with Snorlax. So it was a little bit disappointing where, if you couldn't use your phone for, a specific hour, you're missing out on all the shiny chances of the Pokemon you wanted. And if you're missing out on Cave Hour, you're disappointed.
Yeah.
You're very disappointed.
So yeah, then I think I'm going to stick more to the 9 thanks to your reasoning there. I wanted to get a 9.5, but I also thought that, because of the other little glitches between the music and all that stuff, which, I wanted to play with the music, and I'm okay playing with the music, but it was just not that experience that I look forward when I couldn't even hear the overworld music at all whenever
you're clicking.
Whenever I'm clicking, yeah. So I wish they will fix that. If Niantic, if you listen to this, try to fix that kind of glitch that you have. Let us turn off the encounter music and just keep the overworld music throughout the entire event, because we want to listen to the music. When I was playing the Kanto tour, I had the music on the entire time. Yeah, I was actually going off and through some of the encounters and things, but the music was fire during the time of the Kanto event, and all the biomes, all the hours were actually pretty good. So I want to say it's actually it was okay, but this time around it just was glitching all the stuff. So I did not want to play the music just because of that reason. So either way, again, 9 out of 10. I'm glad that the community was out and about once again. They're actually more potent to go out now than to stay at home, even though remote rates is still a thing. The bonuses will be going away by the end of this month anyway. So there's a lot of things that we're definitely going to be talking about, past fun things, but I just love that the community is once again open to go out and play the game. And almost everybody, aside from probably a couple of streamers like Reversal or Pokemon Master Holly, they stayed at home and did the GoFest through home. Almost everybody else went out and played. They just did not want to stay home and do this at home. They wanted to go out and play the entire time. So it was actually kind of fun seeing all through that anyways. All right, so before we end day 1, there was a little thing that we did watch and stream on the end of day 1. So you guys
Exciting.
know. I know, right? Niantic announced that we were going to have in-person moments in each city that they mentioned in one of their blog posts, and we thought it was just gonna be photo bombs and everything. But for the looks of it, they had another surprise for the Chicago players, and that of course is a giant egg that appeared on Chicago, and it was through the whole Together We Raid moments and everything like that. So when they announced, hey, something's gonna happen at 10 p.m. our local time, be there to watch the magic happen and whatever, I were like, oh my god, what is gonna get announced? What are they doing? I was so tired from actually playing GoFest. I came home, took a shower. I was about to pass out until I saw that news. I was like, let's go to the live stream. Let's see what the heck is going on. Chris luckily was already live streaming at the time, and he wasn't as tired as I was because, of course, he worked half the day. So I was out in the sun, dude, so that was the difference. So we started streaming. We did our predictions during live streaming and see what the heck was happening. And probably one of the most disappointing things was that nothing really happened. It was just
I think we overhyped it too.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest,
I think everybody literally overhyped this because it was something that we was not expecting. So we were hoping through the things that they were showing us. Plus, of course, the little secret that they put at the end of day one of GoFest, which if you actually go into the game right now, in the loading screen, you'll see a Pokemon actually appear in your loading screen that wasn't previously there at the time of the day of day one. On the day going one, you had the little guy, Hoopa, floated around the load screen. We were like, wow, what the heck are they thinking? But this also makes sense, and I actually thought about this at before the day one happened. Hoopa is the Pokemon that brings all legendaries in one place. He is the only one who can go between dimensions and time to bring the legendaries to where we are, and that's the reason why we have day 2 raid days. Every legendary spawning from the raids, from the gyms. That was literally the lore that they tied in with Hoopa to see what was going on at that regard. So Hoopa appeared in the load screen. And of course, the sky was also something that they changed up during day 2 of GoFest. You had a starry sky. It was a dark night sky the whole time. Even if it was daytime or sunny weather or anything like that, the sky would stay in that position. And of course, Hoopa's ring would appear and disappear between places in the sky for you to see go around. So, and this happened before the raid day even started. So we knew what we were going to expect in it. It was actually pretty cool because it is something that we were not expecting, but at the same time, it was kind of cool to see in the overworld in that regard. So, in overall, I think that having I'm glad I clicked on that thing right. It's a dragon one too. So, So at the end of the day, it was actually kind of cool. They tied in the story of Hoopa into what was going to happen on day 2. And that was just bringing all legendaries all together. Again, it was actually kind of cool. Did you think that was cool, Chris, too?
Yeah, I think it was definitely interesting that they put in that lore. I don't know. Because I know a lot of people were complaining there wasn't enough legendaries, and then some people were complaining there weren't enough 1-stars. It's so funny. Because you can't please everyone. But I already knew when they announced how many different legendaries were going to be in each hour, we were going to have a jumble. So I guess all I can do is be thankful they didn't put every single legendary the whole time. Because you would not find the legendary you're looking for. Oh, you want a Dialga? Yeah, 1 out of 100 raids. Oh, you only got 2 raids by you? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, so that was technically the experience we had during GoFest day 2. Just to cap off day 1, of course, the exciting thing that happened in Chicago was just raids with other people who were in Chicago. So nothing really to go about it. It was kind of disappointing. Once the 3rd raid came around, we were like, yep, I'm going to sleep and things like that. So I was already tired.
Timer experience.
Yeah, timer experience. It was like a 9-minute timer to the egg to pop, and then it was another 6-minute timer to beat the raid, and then you go cycle that for another hour and a half, and I'm like, yeah, there's no point of staying here and watching. Now, whoever was in Chicago at the time, congrats. It would be cool to actually see that kind of thing and meet up with other people out there and things like that. So it was kind of okay in that regard. But for people who were just watching it from afar, there wasn't really much of incentive to actually watch it anyways, because you were not there, unless you get invited to that raid specifically. So
yeah, I think it adds a lot to the in-person experience, having something visual like that.
I'm
definitely excited to see it in the future.
I wanted to say that also gave out a lot of incentive to see what's for futures to come for the next few GoFests in the future. Something like that is actually cool if they can put it up in different cities around the world. That way, you know where you want to go for the GoFest experience and things like that. So, but yeah, okay. So now that we finished day 1, that was all day 1 experience, definitely. Now let's talk about Days 2 experience. Levitt, thank you very much for joining us. So Day 2 GoFest experience, it was all raids. So I knew I wasn't going to be walking around, but I was designated to drive everybody else out. So real quick, let me get a sip of water. Okay, that was... I still had something in my throat, but whatever. We'll continue on. Anyways, so Day 2, again, I wake up early to make sure that everybody's there. I didn't know Chris was going to join me on Day 2 because I thought he was going to work. But then he texted me last night saying, oh, let me go ahead and hop into your car too. I'm like, okay, dude. We planned it out pretty early. I had another person who knew about the area pretty well for gyms. At the time of me planning how many raids we're going to do and how many targets we're going to go for, we didn't know how the raids were going to go. We were thinking that we're going to be 1 hour raids throughout the entire time, and we were just going to hit as many gyms as possible for the Pokemons that we wanted to get. Instead, each hour had a rotating 30-minute raid hour or raid between legendaries. So you guys know that we had at least 10 legendaries per hour at least. So they wanted to make sure that we had a chance to raid as many as possible. So they rotated a chunk of legendaries in the first half, let it expire, and then by the time the next half an hour started, another chunk will actually appear. This was good and bad in so many reasons. And the reason why is because we only had half an hour to finish a raid, the race that we wanted to do. Sometimes there weren't enough Pokemon that we wanted to raid because there are a lot of legendaries we didn't even want to touch. And by the time the next one come around, you either had good ones or bad ones depending on how it went. So each hour was a different time. And we started pretty strong. We did a couple of them at the first half an hour. Just ran around, 5 people in the car. Another like 3 people in another car anyways. And we were just running around everywhere. Which was pretty fun because we haven't done something like that in a while.
No, I haven't grinded like that in a long time.
However, I think there's like the good things about the whole thing is that, yeah, we weren't getting the legendaries we wanted to, but at least we were doing as much as possible and getting the experience for it. The bonus experience was insane. So we started, we had we had a psychic hour, the first one. I think it was win hour, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple of them in the park that we were staying at, and then we moved around through downtown, and then we kept between the first rotation of the first 3 or 4 hours in the same location until we moved over to a more secure location that we knew we were gonna be able to actually do every single one of the race we wanted at the time of course. And of course, you had spawns from the previous day all jumbled up into one day. So we still were getting other shinies at the time. So Chris, first and foremost, how was it? And what was your haul after that?
It was pretty fun. I really appreciate you welcoming me into your car. It was a really good raid group.
More than it was unexpected the day before. I was like, hey, okay, cool. I have finally my podcaster with me, my co-host.
Yeah, funny enough, I bumped into the other guy we were riding with in the other car the night before, and he's like, yo, you should ask Pure Letter. I was like, that's a good idea. So that definitely made raiding a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into the hall, had a bunch of legendaries, even the night before, because there were some people that wanted some help. But interesting enough, nothing too crazy except an Uxie raid from somebody. But other than that, I think the haul really started with a shiny Hippopotas. It was the opposite gender, the one I needed, so I got both genders in between both days of GoFest. So
nice. That
was cool. And then out of all the raids we did, the first shiny legendary I got was a shiny Moltres.
Ooh.
I did not really care for that. I have the Shundo, but why not add to the massive pile of Moltres I have? I think that's like the 8th or 9th.
Plus the one in Let's Go.
Exactly. And then after that, I got a shiny Lugia. I don't have a crazy amount of him, so he was pretty nice to see. I mean, any shiny's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I got a second shiny Throw. This one kind of annoyed me. Shiny Swablu. Yeah, any Calm Day shiny, I got a shiny Gligar. And he's a cool shiny. I really like his evolution.
It's also the second one that you clicked on.
I think this was the first one.
No, the second one you lost.
No, because I got 3.
Oh, okay.
This was the first one. And then I got a shiny Monkey, shiny Apom.
All right.
This was kind of cool. We all got a Nundo event Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
And Nundos are technically more rare than Hundos, but they're not useful. So don't go too crazy on them, I guess.
Imagine if it would have been shiny at that time,
Exactly. That would have been dope. I ended up trading somebody a shiny Meltan. Mine was all right. I gave him a Shundo. So you're welcome, Pokemon Professor. Professor Pokemon.
That was actually an insane time because
he was screaming.
Yeah, yes. It was insane. The funny thing is when we actually met up with him, we were finishing up at raid. I don't remember what hour it was, but they did the trade. He gets his Melton, and then all of a sudden he posts us on Discord, and we see the Shundo there. I get out of the car a little bit like, dude, what the fudge?
He's using that in Master League. I'll tell you what.
Oh my god, yes, that's probably a coup de grace out of any trade at that point, because it's just, I mean, it's a beast. It's a beast in Master League, and having a Shundo to show up for, he won up me on that one for sure. Plus he got
it's dope.
Plus he gets the extra large candies to be able to actually power it up. So there's
it's lucky.
Yes,
so it's cheaper.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But he finished off there.
Yeah, after that, I got a shiny Giratina. And then a shiny Groudon. There's a few of them I'm going to leave a footnote on because Pure Letter has more to add to it later on. Got a shiny Groudon, footnote. Shiny Entei. Another shiny Gligar. This one was after one that I threw a ball at. Tried fast catching it, and then we were driving, so that one was left in the dust. I did not mind missing out on a shiny Gligar.
Also,
I did fail that.
Also, to know that Chris finally realized that you can fast catch on the screen of legendaries and Tingle Rockets.
I thought you couldn't. I got a shiny Kyogre. Footnote. I got a 98 Rayquaza. I already have 2 Hondos, but a 98 is always welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting enough, I got a rank 2 costume Flygon with the Palm Day move.
Nice.
So I'm thinking of powering it up. It's level 1 right now. I might power it up because that thing's going to be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the last cool Pokemon I got was a shiny Alomomola. So I needed him.
Yes.
So I'm very happy.
Her.
And then a bunch of Dialgas that I'm definitely going to lucky trade.
Yeah.
And I'll pass it on to you, my boy.
Alrighty. So, yes. So the day started. I get a shiny Mewtwo from one of the first few Mewtwo's that we did that day. Mewtwo, for some reason, was just not spawning throughout the win hour. And I believe that was also because we just didn't have many at the time off. So it really was interesting to say the least. But I got another shiny Mewtwo throughout the time. I was running the Gold Plus the entire time to do the catches that I wanted, just in case something else popped up, and it did. I was also checking whenever we weren't doing a raid, but whenever you're in the raid, you really can't catch anyways. So I did Gold Plus a shiny F Unknown. And yes, I got this one. I was happy about it. Funny thing is, I checked the IVs the day after. It's a 8-15-15.
Okay.
So pretty good. Not bad. I mean, it's not like it's gonna break the meta, but anyways, it was kind of good in that regard.
It's definitely fun though.
Yeah. So we were at lunch and we did a Groudon at the time of doing. Actually, no, I think we did it like one before or something like that. I get a shiny Groudon. Footnote that I actually get it with Chris. Chris and I got the first shiny Groudon, or was it the second one?
That the one together was the one later on.
Okay. Well, either way, yes, I get a shiny Groudon. I was okay about it. I mean, I had a couple of them already. It's good trade fodder. I won the Shundo for Primal eventually, so hopefully I can get that. Go Plus keeps running. I don't get a lot throughout the first few hours with the Go Plus, but I did get a Growlithe, a Magikarp, a Wailmer, which I didn't need, but anyways, a Chimchar.
Well.
I know, right? A Chimchar, which was level. It's still one of the things. A Scyther. That one I did click on, and I was actually okay of getting it. A Phoebus that Chris never got.
7 or 8 events with no shiny Phoebus on my own.
Yeah. Then of course we go back to. I mean, do note we are actually doing like any race that we can at the time between the Lugias, the Yagas, and all those other ones. I did get another shiny Groudon, and this one was with Chris at the same time.
Shout out to that famous clip we have.
Hey, if you guys don't know, we actually got double shinies Groudons at the time we were starting this podcast with Fire Punch throughout the research breakthrough. Well, it was the special research that we had throughout that event anyways, but it was pretty cool because we both got it at the same time. It was pretty funny. So it's kind of shout out to that moment. We didn't know it was going to happen. I go plus a shiny Trapinch. And then the final Kyogre, or was it like the second to last Kyogre? Him and we both get shinies again in the same time. So I was happy about it. I'm happy about getting, multiple shinies and everything. They did say that the race weren't going to be as high as they want. So we knew just doing the race was going to be that insane in that regard. But it's still pretty fun, pretty day. We did get through a lot of the legendaries. That's shinies only, but in the end, we did like between remotes and in-person raids. I want to say we did about 61.
We did at least 60.
Well, I was counting the ones at least because you can filter through things. I know that we started on the Virizion, and I lost the legendary that just ran off afterwards. I hear it shows 61. -1, that's 60. I'm sorry, minus or plus 1 is 62. But then I count 2, 4, 6 that I did the night before. So count 62 minus 6 that, there. So we did kind of like 50, 58, 50. My math is like all over the place anyways.
We did a lot.
We did a lot. We did a little. We did plus 50, less than 60, but plus 50. Anyways, not bad in the holes. Anyways, I wanted to help out a few of my friends who didn't have like a few of the legendaries that couldn't catch a few from before. Nothing not too notable to say the least. Most of the shinies were kind of crappy. I did get a 96 non-shiny Groudon, but I mean I already had another one anyways. Palkia, Dialga, and every other ones really didn't do that many in the IBs category. I'm checking through the IBs right now. I get a 96 Cresselia, so that's not bad. But then everything else just somewhat of a crappy IBs in that regards. Even the Kyogres were bad. Oh yeah, the shiny Kyogre that I got was a 14, 14, 13. And then one of the Rayquazas was a 11, 15, 15. So that's again. I wish I would have actually gotten a little bit better IBs in that regard. I was hoping for maybe a Hundo Dialga or a Hundo Rayquaza, and we did do a lot of Rayquazas at the time. But yeah, no, nothing much. Again, there was a lot of Pokemons or legendaries that we couldn't do, mostly because either they didn't have a shiny chance or they were only spawning at the time of. When we needed the most, but we weren't there at the time anyway. So the rotations were pretty quickly. The day went by super fast because of it. And overall, it was okay. But I want to say it wasn't as best as day one for that reason. The only upside for me that I said it was a better day is because I gained a buttload of experience at the time of. I run Lucky Egg the entire time, every day, plus the Gold Plus. I think I went from 3 to 4 mil experience to now 10 to close to 11 million experience. I'm at 10.9 mil for level 49. And I'm super happy about that. I was in the low spectrum of the experience at the time of, so kudos for that.
Yeah, I was pretty happy to hit level 48 during the raids. I was like, yeah, finally.
Yeah. Now we just gotta. I found it. No, I was always a little bit above you, and that's because I've been doing a lot of different events,
a lot of raids,
experience, So not too bad. Closer to level 50 than it was before. So it looks like the dream is not dead before the end of the year. We'll see how it goes because getting that much experience and all those tags is stunning, to say the least. And we're ranting on for a lot, but anyways, that's how really day 2 went. I know some of us from the friends in our card got super unlucky when it came to legendaries.
Same amount of raids, 0 shinies. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Our friend was just
even more.
Yeah, she actually did. She actually did a lot more during the time that we were driving home. Anyway, so she did quite a bit extra legendaries than us, and it's still, out of all of them that we did that were shiny possible, none of them were shiny for her, and that was actually a little bit heartbreaking in that regard. I was actually a little bit heartbroken for herself. So
I couldn't believe it. Honestly.
Yeah. Every time Chris gets a shiny, she was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
Yeah, by the way, I'm sitting right next to this person.
It was just hilarious, but at the same time, kind of disheartening in that regard. Sometimes the luck is just like that, You get shinies. I mean, I got 4, he got 6, she got 0.
Comes in waves, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not. We get different rates, and we were doing dinos and ponytas and Zigzagoons. Even my other friend got a Zigzagoon with a hat, so it was actually pretty cool. So, in the end of the day, it wasn't the greatest day 2, mostly because the rotation was too quickly, and at the same time, there were too many legendaries. At least I could say that there were too many legendaries that we really didn't care about during the time of the day. I would have spent those legendaries, or the ones that we don't care, in an hour that they're the less popular hour, and maybe spend them more catching and checking spawns because I knew that I could still get shinies throughout the day. So at least that's my take on it. How about you, Chris?
I can see that. I liked your idea of running the gacha in the background, or the Pokemon Plus the whole time, to get those extra spawns to and from raids. I was honestly surprised that the shiny rates were as high as they were on day 2. I thought they were just going to be. I know it sounds crazy. I thought they were going to be full odds second day. And I wasn't really sure that we were getting the incense Pokemon. I mean, you saw, I was surprised that people were getting shinies and like Snorlax spawns from the incense. I am crazy.
Yeah, but things like that happens, and it was all right in our book in the end of the day. I want to say I give the raid day 2 of GoFest 2021. I'm gonna give it a 8, just because it was still fun. It was still a lot of people going out and doing the raids. It's still fun to see different types of legendaries than the ones we see all the time. I kind of wish though that it was more like last year's GoFest, that we only had like a specific popular ones, like the Dialga and Palkia, maybe Giratina kind of thing. Because we were just not hoping to see so many and have to do so many. It was kind of like disappointing that because the gym didn't have the legendary that you wanted, even if it would have been like 2 or 3 at the time, it was still kind of like, okay, well, I will not be doing this one and probably do something else if something else pops up. Now, to say the least, I went through almost my entire stock of premium battle passes, which was good because that means I didn't buy any more premium battle passes at the time of day. And the remote raid passes were actually pretty stackful at the time when you were doing the research, even the time research and everything. So remember, you get 8 remote raid passes and like at least 11 free to premium raid passes at the time. So 21 raid passes in total. In all sense, I barely even spent a dime because everything else that we did was pretty good. I did, of course, spend some money before the GoFest started, but that's because I wanted to prepare for any inconvenience at the time of. So
yeah.
So yeah,
the fact we got the free passes, the way I saw it, I thought that was good enough to pay for GoFest on its own. Not that $5 was too crazy for GoFest this year.
yeah, and again, a lot of people were still
nice.
they had a lot of stock up raid passes or battle premium passes at the time of GoFest. So in that sense, they really didn't have to spend too much on unless you really were going hard at the days of raids anyway. So yeah. Now, of course, we go about it between casuals and hardcores. If you're a hardcore, you don't care about a race. You just do the race, get the experience, and get to level 50 at some point, But we were the ones who wanted to get the extra large candy and things like that. And of course, you're not going to get extra large candy that you were hoping for because unless you're doing a 24-hour raid day, there's no way you're going to get extra large candy for one Pokemon at a time off anyway. So to level up, at least to level up to level 50 at the time of.
Even the people that only wanted like 2 specific raids only got like half of what they wanted, but still pretty impressive.
Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, I do think that the second day wasn't like a lot of people were saying that wasn't even meant to be because the raids were just taking over whatever else you wanted to do at the time of if you were trying to catch up from the day before, anyways. But either way, it wasn't something that it was too impactful. It was cool to see all the legendaries at a time, but aside from that, and aside from the experience gain, nothing much could say the least because the shining rates weren't as high as we were hoping for, but it was still out there in that regard,
I will say, for those of you that me and Lewis included, we didn't like to see the non-shiny chances too much, but it was nice to help out people that didn't get the legendary before.
Yeah.
So I think it was definitely a way to get old and new players to work together. So it was pretty cool idea. I just feel like, I can't give it that 10, sadly. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun, and again, doing things like that from previous times, like just going out, doing the race in person, and just getting as many as you can. It was pretty cool in all sense how it was portrayed at the end of the day. So, kudos to Niantic. Still a good event either way. I want to say it ran smoothly. We never really had so many problems aside from last year's GoFest or the previous GoFest. The game had a smooth sailing, maybe a couple of lags here and there, but really
had some hiccups. But not horrible.
Yeah, not horrible, or having to do makeup events at the time off. So, okay, we went a little bit too long when it comes to explaining day 1 and day 2. We're actually already an hour in of our experiences between the 2 days. So let's go ahead and just talk about some of the things that they have mentioned since the beginning of GoFest or the day off. So the Ultra Unlocks that we mentioned before are unlocked. We actually unlocked them even before day 2 even started. So we knew it was going to happen anyway. So we do have all 3 Ultra Unlocks unlocked. And they had some teasers to go about it when those came to be. So let me go ahead and go to their official website here, or they should tweet-er, I guess. If I can talk today, because I already talked for long today. All right, so let's see here. Ultra Unlocks, where are they at? Let's see, where are the teasers? Oh, there they are. This is part 1. So if we go ahead and see right here on this image, we have a couple of Pokemons that looks like they're going to be appearing during part 1 of the Ultra Unlock. This one being Shieldon and Cranidos and Porygon. Now, Porygon we already know has a shiny chance. Shieldon and Cranidos, however, if you look at the bottom right of each one of them, or the bottom left where Shieldon is, you see some sparkles. That means to say that during part 1 of the Ultra Unlock time, we will get shiny Cranidos and shiny Shieldon for the very first time in Pokemon Go. Finally! They've been a kind of a holdout for the last few months, right?
I've been expecting them for the upcoming adventure weeks that they usually have. And I know Cranidos was going to be a big one, but sooner than later, I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week.
Yeah, that's a definite. All right, let me go ahead and see if I can find dates to Ultra Unlock, because I don't know if they took it down or not. I just don't remember. Because I'm not finding that in their official website. Let me go to. Let's see. Let's go to Pokemon Miner. They usually have like almost all the information here. Nope, not there. I should be more prepared for this, but I don't know why I'm not. Okay, hold on. I think I know who can help me with this. Huh, weird. I guess it's in their other official Pokemon Twitter, but the second Ultra Unlock that they mentioned once we unlocked it was that we were going to get shiny Heracross as one of the part 2 Ultra Unlocks. We also had Kangaskhan in the picture, so it was kind of interesting to say the least. So, what do you think about now having a possibility of shiny Heracross coming to Pokemon Go?
Beautiful. It's almost 2 of the most common weathers that we get in Florida. Rain and clouds. So definitely a fun one. He's always weather boosted, it seems like. So definitely going to be a fun one to shiny hunt. Definitely going to be good for shiny trades at events. So, if we get a bunch of them, maybe we'll trade you guys in a meetup, if you guys give us something good.
Well, Heracross is always going to spawn like the bug he is. So we're definitely going to get a lot of shinies anyway. So here's the picture. I finally found it. So yeah, Heracross having his shiny sparkles in front of it, plus Kangaskhan and Ghastly. So, dang. It's got to be an Ultra Unlock part 2 for sure to hope for.
Yeah, free shiny Kangaskhan. I'll take it.
I was hoping that today we were going to have a little more news about at least what the first Ultra Unlock was going to entitle to. I'm pretty sure they're going to release it tomorrow, and I'm going to be pissed about it. But,
we even waited a day.
I know. But still, it was kind of one of those things in that regard. In the end of the day, we'll definitely recap it next weekend. The first Ultra Unlock should be happening either this Thursday or this Friday. I think it is this Thursday. So the news should be there by the time we get there. But of course, podcasting. Anyways, that's the 2 Ultra Unlocks. We don't know and have any details about how the part 3 is going to be. They're still keeping it a secret. I hope to get news in the coming weeks for sure. I hope to get it tomorrow, but either way, we're expecting for a lot to come around in that regard. So that's the Ultra Unlocks for now. That's the little teases that they are doing it when it comes down to it. And then there is one more little miscellaneous news that I don't know if we covered it. I don't remember if we covered it last week. But the whole, travel thing that Pokemon Center was doing, and Niantic was enforcing it throughout Shiny Corsola and a Pikachu with their, new hat or whatever throughout the year. They will delay that, actually. They actually announced that they are delaying the release of Shiny Corsola and their special promotion for it. Just for other reasons, unfortunately, Japan is having a little bit of trouble again with COVID, so they are in emergency lockdowns. So they don't want people to come in anytime soon, and I guess that also pushed over the event that we're going to have that promote both Shiny Corsola and the Pikachu. So they have delayed it for now. They don't know when they're gonna return, but once we know, we'll let you guys know for sure. So And Papercut is laughing because he was just mentioning about that yesterday. So, all right. That's basically all of GoFest that we have for you guys. That's nothing more at this point. That we already gave all our experiences and everything. I'm still tired. Either way, it was just a fun, anyways.
I'm feeling it today. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk just a little bit of PvP real quick. Just because there's just few things. We are in the Remix Cup right now in GVL. I know that Silt Arena is having his Continentals pretty soon. They haven't announced a date or time to do it yet, so and that's because I think the final invitations just went out like probably a couple of days ago. So they're trying to finish up knowing who or where you're gonna go for Continental. So Silt Arena is one thing, GBL is Remix. What are you hoping to see? I mean, what have you seen in Remix this last few days? Because I haven't touched PvP since even before GoFest started.
It's definitely, I would say, a dark type dominated cup. I think one of the most well-rounded Pokemon are Obstagoon and the bird, Volibee. Shoot, I'm forgetting its name. The one that Volibee evolves into. The buzzard. I'm not remembering it, but Mandibus. Thank you. He's a very, very dominant Pokemon, and I'd say it's dominated by that. It's honestly kind of hard to run Pokemon that don't cover at least both of them. So you see a lot of Charm. You see a lot of... It's funny enough, you see a lot of strange Pokemon that you never see because they get blocked out by things like Galarian Stunfisk and Skarmory and stuff like that. But it's been a lot of fire types. You never see that. It's a lot of ice types. It's very fun. I like seeing weird Pokemon.
Yeah, no, that's definite in that regard. So, yeah, Remix can be that kind of thing. And thanks to your experiences, I know that it could be fun in some ways. So a lot of people are actually liking Remix in that regard. Having at least 20 Pokemons from the top meta being completely out of it in that regard. So try out your fun themes, whatever you're using, let us know. You can always, tweet at us or use the hashtag Purified Podcast if you're actually going to tweet us anything. We definitely want to hear some thoughts of what you guys experienced both in GBL. And if you want to talk about what GoFest or how GoFest went, make sure you go through that tweet too. Show us your wins. What did you get? What is the things that you were more excited about catching and things like that? So, yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Chris, you got anything else?
Tomorrow, if you're listening right now, you're gonna want to save all your legendaries to delete on Tuesday during the spotlight hour for double handy. If you're listening afterwards, I'm sorry. I think we mentioned it before when we talked about the spotlight hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be ready.
Yeah, I haven't actually transferred anything. I'm sitting at 4278 out of 4500, so I'm definitely transferring a lot of Pokemon that I'm pretty sure that I gotta actually go through the list because I think I have some PvP ones out there that I don't want to transfer. So
yeah, definitely tag them all.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure that you go ahead and do that transfer tomorrow. A lot of candies. I'm definitely going to be saving a few things. I think I'm going to save my Larvatars because I do want to do trades.
Try to get that extra large.
Yes, because I'm actually pretty close of getting a level 51 Tyranitar ready to go for his Mega Evolution. So I'm probably just a few more extra candies away. Between 50 or 40 left, so I should be able to finish it up if I do it right. Anyhow, that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. This was an amazing time to experience. Once again, each year, GoFest just gets better and better, even though one of them was probably just a, stay-at-home kind of one. But anyways, I hope that too many GoFests to come in the later future for the next few generations, for the next few times. We'll definitely be out there grinding. Hopefully in-person GoFest is finally there. So we're hoping to get to that point in that regard. So I hope you guys have fun. I hope you have as many lucks, shinies as possible. and many cool things to talk about. So again, make sure you let us know. You can always listen to us, and thank you for listening to us actually. In all the podcast services out there, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Heart Radio. If you can leave us a review, make sure you do so. We will greatly appreciate it. And then, of course, follow us on our social media for any week's changes. Also, tweet out at us at Pure Let It Go and Pokemon Trigger Please. That is PKMN Trigger PLC. And, of course, you can email us at the purifiedpodcast@gmail.com. I got to fix that. For some reason, it's the R in the screen. Excuse me. I talked for too much already. Anyways, and yeah, don't forget to check us out at thepurifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. So, with that being said, Chris, how about you let us out for the night?
All right. Hope you guys got your fill of shiny Pokemon, legendary Pokemon. Your fill of fun. Hope you guys had a lot of good times with friends. And I hope you guys are looking forward to what's to come. We all worked hard to get that Ultra Unlock. So definitely reap the benefits. Get those shinies. And yeah, feel free to message us on Twitter, on Discord, about anything you guys want to talk about on the podcast next week. Definitely enjoy it. And I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Peace out.
Keep purifying them, and we'll see you guys next week.